Yeah, fellow brothers and sisters, I know today is Monday and most of you are recovering from, but I think there is something important that we need to discuss. Looking from the social media like WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, the cry of the people is fix the country, fix the country, fix the country. This is what the cry of the people. That's not what I'm saying. We cannot see it from the Facebook and from all those areas. The question that comes in mind is how are we going to fix the country? At the time of Rawlings, we were saying fix the country. At the time of Kufuor, we were saying fix the country. At the time of Atamels, we would say fix the country. At the time of Mohammed, we would say fix the country. Now at the time of Akufo-Addo, we say fix the country. When are we going to fix the country? That's what I wanted to know. We've changed governments, but still it's just the same way as it is. But when are we going to stop changing governments and realize that changing from one political party to another political party will not fix the problem that we are having? Rather, taking drastic measures will really lead us fixing those problems that we have. Now, first of all, before we go on, my grandfather once told me that when there is a storm, there are no things yet. Look at the direction where it's coming from and where it is going. The voice of the people are heard. Ghana is our country. It belongs to you and I. It's not mine, it's not yours, but it belongs to you and I. Whatever we'll do will make the next person to come in to see the kind of person or the kind of people that we are. And if we don't do anything, anybody that comes in there will see that we are not doing anything. So if we want the country to move forward, that means you and I will have to move forward. Brothers and sisters, we have to be honest on this. Rome was not built by itself. Neither Germany was built by itself, nor US was built by itself. It's the people that built the country. So if we don't come down to one understanding, how will we be able to make it? Now let's go straight to the point why I came here, whether we can fix the nation or not. Now what we're going to look at today is what happened for us to be in this situation. We cast back before entering into multi-party democracy. PNDC administration under J.J. Rawlings have already sold our economic rights, our economic freedom, to the World Bank. For what? It's really funny, if I should tell you. For wheat and corn. Why wheat and corn? Because at that time, like I said in my previous video, that we were facing a drastic problem, that we need to take a decision. We had a drought, we had food shortages, and we were not having a problem. We were having many problems. And Nigeria also brought in 6 ships, increasing the problem from frying pan to fire. So in a situation like this, he will go in for it. I would have gone in for it the same way you would have gone in for it. So if he goes in for it, we don't have to point our fingers on it. But the fact is, what he did is exactly what brought us into this situation where we are at the moment. Because selling our economic freedom to these people gives them the opportunity to take our political rights. Right. Once they take our economic freedom, automatically they take our political rights. And when they get it too, they have us in their pot, which means they control the system. We are just tools, or maybe put it in a nice way, we are just workers. The leaders, as we see them at the top there, they are just workers. They don't make decisions. Whatever the decisions they take, somebody at the top there will have to sign. They can't take a decision because Bank of Ghana does not belong to us. The name of the city belongs to us, but the worth or the value of the city does not belong to us. That's what the problem is. If the value of the money and the name of the money belong to we Ghanaians, then we can take a decision without consulting the World Bank. But it does not belong to us. So whatever we want to do, we need to go to them for approval. Unless maybe some few thousands or from some few hundred thousands, we can take it. But if it goes down to million and upwards, they tell us what we have to do. We have to explain why we need that money and what we are going to use that money for. Hello, brothers and sisters. The situation we have at the moment It's not a situation where NDC or MPP or CPP or any of these political parties can solve. The only people that can solve that problem is you and I. But if it's you and I, then we need to wake up. Time for us to wake up. Not by drawing guns and ammunition, by reasoning. Because I guess it's time for us to wake up from our sleeping slumber and start reasoning together. Now we're going to reason together. We enter into the political party system. Now, the political party system, what is the political party system? What is their operations? How is their activities? How do they organize themselves? Now, if we look in the state of Ghana, we are under a constitution which has got laws and bylaws. And one of the laws bind political parties to be registered as a non-governmental organization with a common interest of improving people's life, helping to develop communities, and also helping to build a nation. These are the obligations and responsibilities of every NGO which is registered, including the churches and other registered associations. They all form under the umbrella of a non-governmental organization. Now, being under the umbrella of non-governmental organization, that means that by law, an NGO cannot provide services or produce products in exchange of money with the idea of gaining income, because it is not under the corporate laws. Under the corporate laws, you pay taxes and you can make profit. But under the NGO, you're not supposed to make profit, and so you don't pay taxes, which means whatever money that you are able to organize should be in the development, should be geared towards in the development of the community where the NGO is registered. Now, looking at it in this way, we might ask, how do they get their money for organizing their programs and projects? By law, they can get money from collections, they can get money from members, they can get money from sponsors, they can get grants from governments and organizations and establishments. This is where they collect their money to do it. We look at the churches. Churches base their idea on the collection from what they get from the church. Then some other associations, they base their things on the collections, what they can get from the money they can get for the members. Then there are others who go in for the big fishes. They concentrate on the government, on the donors and sponsors that leaves out. These are the international. Now, political parties, if we look at the situation where they are at the moment, they have the opportunity to do collection, to collect money from members contributing, and also get money from organizations, and also go into external, which is international. So they get money from all these areas. Now, the money they get is not enough for them to be able to organize all their campaign and activities. And I will show you why it is not enough. We're going to do some calculation. There you have an idea. So whatever they get, they put it aside, then see what is left. Then they organize from the members for them to contribute. Now, by the contribution, it is those that have got money that make most of the contribution. See, so now we're going to have a look. If you have a pen and paper, we're going to do some calculation. It might be a long distance, but we need to look into this. Now, for you to be qualified as an NGO, as a political party in Ghana, you need to have 275 offices, which means in each constituency, you need to have one office. So we're going to look at the calculation of one office, how much it will cost us. Now, let's assume the figures that we are going to use here are all going to be, let's say, the minimum. We are not going to calculate it to the last best one, but rather we're going to take it from the last, from the bottom. Now, let's say, for instance, one office, you need to pay rent, you need to pay electricity, water, telephone, and internet. Putting all these things together, let's take a figure of 2,000 Ghana cedis. Now, if we look at the 2,000 Ghana cedis, we know it is not enough, because the rent alone, renting a full house, as a party house, that alone might cost a lot of money before coming down to the telephone, electricity, and all those. So the 2,000, I guess it's okay. Then in the office, you need a minimum of 6 staff. The chairman, you need a secretary, you need a treasurer, and you need 3 field officers or party organizers. So the chairman, let's give him around 2,000 each month as his allowance. Give the secretary 1,500, the treasurer 1,500, and the 3 officers will give each 3,000. So when you put the staff together, you have 8,000 Ghana cedis. Now, transportation, because when they are doing certain activities, they need to move from one junction to another junction. So by transportation, we'll peg it down for the whole month, 1,000. Now, if we put the whole figure together, which is the transportation, the staff, and the rent and electricity and all together, it gives us 11,000 Ghana cedis. That is, we take it straight up. Okay. Now, 11,000 Ghana cedis. Remember, we have 275 constituencies. So if you multiply the 11,000 by the 275 constituencies, which means it's giving you 3,025,000 Ghana cedis. This is just for 1 month. So if you multiply it by, so if you multiply it by 4, which is the 4 years, you are having 12,100. So with this 12,100,000, we put it on the side. Now we come down to the cost of 150 cars at 9,000. Why we say 150 cars? We have 225 constituencies. The minimum cars that a party can get will be 150 in order for the party to be able to move down to to achieve its objective. 150 is a minimum. So let's assume one car costs about 9,000 Ghana cedis. That will give us 1,350,000. Now, then we come down to the campaign cost. Campaign cost, we've got something called flyers, stickers, T-shirt, shawl, and other accessories. So let's peg the whole nation campaign and everything. The flyers and all those things to be 2 million. Then we might need platforms for the 275 constituency. We assume each platform, the organization of it, fixing everything up and mounting it and putting everything together, let's take it at 10,000. So the 10,000 multiplied by the 275 constituency, we're talking about 2,750,000. Now, then after the whole platform issue, there is a refreshment that comes after that. So the refreshment, we'll take it at 10,000 per each constituency. So multiplied by the 275 constituencies, we have 2,750,000. Now that we've got freebies of all giveaways. The freebies are maybe a bag of rice, a bag of cement, some few farming items, and all those items. We put it like each constituency costing about 15,000. Multiplied by the 275 constituencies, that gives us 4,125,000. Okay. Now we're looking at the total cost 4 years. We know the office is costing us 12,100,000. We know the cost of the cars is costing us 1,350,000. We know the campaign cost is also costing us 4,125,000. So if we put all together, that comes out to 17,575,000. Now, taking 20% of this as miscellaneous, that means the unforeseen things that we do not see around the cost there, making 3,515,000, which means the minimum amount for 4 years operation for every political party, that is a minimum, is 21,090,000. The question is, how did politicians get this money? You see, there is no way they can get a 21 million straight away from whatever they organize. So the rest of the money, they have to get it from the members. Now, if we look at it, in Europe, for instance, Germany, when it comes down to the political activities, the nation or the state takes 75% of the whole total cost, which means the members contribute only 25% of the total cost. Members don't have much influence in taking decisions. You see, they only have influence in the party, but they don't have influence when it comes down to the top. But in Ghana, The state is not providing any means. It is the members who are providing the money. So if it is the members who are providing the money, and the members have an influence the governance. And that's exactly what is happening. So the question is, are we going to leave these people to influence the governance, or we are going to look around to see how we can get these people away from our governance so that you and I will be able to set up a kind of governance that will be able to move us forward? Because in our parliament, the parliament proceedings does not help us. Now, if they make all this money from the members, and this members contribute this money, let's know, and I repeat this, let's know that that money that these members are contributing is not free of charge. It's not because we Ghanaians are so beautiful and so nice that is the more reason why they wake up and give us their money. No, it's an indirect investment which they make. So if they are making an indirect investment, then your question might be, how do they get their money back? Now, you will see that in Ghana, we don't have a national development plan. And once you don't have a national development plan, there is no way you and I, our voice can be heard. But if we should have a national development plan, then your idea will be in, my idea will be in. Your obligation will be there, my obligation will be there. Your responsibility will be in, my responsibility will be in. In that way, the leaders, they will know our checks and balances. We all know our checks and balances, but unfortunately, we don't have it. So if we don't have it, how do we fill that gap? Fill that gap is where the political parties, they come in with their manifesto, which in parliament, they discuss those manifestos and turn them into policies, which at the end of the day, the decision that comes out of it are passed as laws for you and I to follow. Now, when they were written these policies, you and I were not there. They never discussed it with us. We have no idea. It never came down to our constitution to come and tell us the kind of policy that they want to bring, its effect, the impact that the policy will bring, whether it will change our life or not, for us to be able to say what we think. But they think and they put it there, it's good for us, and we accept it. They always know what is best for us. But when are we going to rise up and ask them, no, it is time for us to tell you what is best for us, because we know what is best for us. Brothers and sisters, sometimes it's really hard to understand the way we reason. Let's fix the fact. The multi-party system, we are not saying it's not good. It's good, but it's not good for us because it's not bringing any improvement in our life. It's not developing our communities. Neither is it building our nation. And if these three things are not happening, then what is the sense of we keeping it? It's time for us to reason. We have a political right, and that political right is where you and I can express what we think and what we feel. In other way around, we will be able to become a human being, because at the moment we don't think and we don't feel. From the mentality of our people, we don't think, we don't feel. We don't want to plant cassava, but we are expecting to be served fufu, in a golden bowl. How can that be? It can never be possible. Does not fall from heaven. It is during the Israelites' time that Moses, somehow of a way, had manners coming from heaven. But we don't have it in our time. So it means that we need to wake up and take the cutlass and do the planting ourselves in order to eat the food we want to eat. Fellow brothers and sisters, it's Monday, and I don't want to bore your day. But think about it. Friday, we might be coming out with the Fifth Republic. I believe that time we might be able to reason out. Prepare yourself. Think about whatever I've said. It's time. And I guess we might be able to make it.